It always bothered me, even when I saw it. Did he really, seriously, need to die? In Cameron's mind and who he was reaching, yes. Death in story is a finality in the audience's mind. Whether it's death of a loved one or an enemy, it helps the storyteller help the audience move forward. So how did Jack's death at the end help everyone move forward? Did he really have to die? Was there a way for him to live and still have the ending Cameron had intended? The answer is yes. Jack could have lived, and Rose still could have had the life she led with the choices she wanted. But that would have not completely satisfied his audience. Why? Because death is the starting line for moving forward, and Rose indeed wanted to move forward. So one would have to ask, who was Jack to Rose, as we already knew what Rose was to Jack? He was in love for the very first time in his life, that he knew mathematically had little hope for happiness. So what did Jack mean to Rose? In Cameron's mind, he was a stepping stone for Rose. He was a temporary way out of her emotional and societal dilemma, but only on that ship, not while on land. After the ship went down, her need for Jack was all for a moment, to place her on a piece of wood, a remnant of the ship. That was it. She was over him. She fell asleep and woke up, and Jack was gone. She then let go of him, and he drifted into the sea like a dream, like someone she only met in her mind. This is what Cameron wanted, because he wanted to sell tickets, then resell them to the same person. This was his marketing ploy, to regain his money back on such a huge budget and risk. It had never been done before to sink that much money into a film and be mocked while it's happening. So he had to give them what they wanted. Death to Jack. This was a female movie, which is why Jack was expendable. It was indeed about freedom from the shackles of society and the monetary need to marry someone you didn't love. But Jack? This had nothing to do with Jack. Jack just got in the way. He got in the way of her attempted suicide, her way of rationalizing her life, her inability to reach an art form, make love, to run away in rebellion. Jack got in the way of all that. In the end, he got in the way of her dying in the ocean. Rose survived, and that's all that mattered. You see, Jack was not in the cards at all. His existence was that of a dream. Once she stepped foot on that rescue boat, she was free, and that's all Rose cared about. Jack never existed in her mind. He was gone. So what could have happened? When I saw the film, I thought logistically they could have been separated in the ocean, and off-screen he could have been rescued, but they never found each other on the ship, and he was all too ill to find her. So what could have happened? In the big world of America, it would have been impossible for him to find her after recovery. The ending could have been Jack himself coming off a helicopter to greet Rose on the ship at 90 years old. Would it change the essence of the film? No. So why not? And why is it such a big deal? The film is really about the me factor. What I want. Story wishes to convey underlying emotions, and Cameron wanted to make sure young women got everything they wanted, including the disposal of someone who would, in essence, not be someone they would choose themselves because of his status. Jack was a toy, an amusement, a friend who you eventually would leave behind to demonstrate your feminine value is much higher than that of a starving poor artist. The finality of his life was imperative to feed the emotional and psychological narcissism of how we teach and think about others. People are disposable. It worked, and young women saw the film over and over again, no matter the cost of the movie ticket. The emotional pull of Jack dying was such a finality to their sense of self. Someone dying for them took shape. That to them was true love.